Here's a multi-part question about loans, in this case a mortgage, and there's going to be a lot of things that I'm going to ask about this, but most of them are answerable with a spreadsheet pretty simply. Alright, so the Calorans are purchasing a home for a $125,000 mortgage. Now that doesn't include any down payment or the points paid or any of that weird stuff on top of the cost of a house. The bank offers a 6.3% APR loan for 30 years on how much you're going to be borrowing. And the first question, of course, is easy. What will be the monthly payment for this loan? So again, we're going to, oops, wrong way. We're going to go to a spreadsheet. Nope, we're going to go to the website. The link is in Moodle for this. This is the how to find your monthly payment given the loan amount. So here we're borrowing $125,000. The interest rate was 6.3%. Alright, so 6.3. And the terms is 30 years. That's 360 months of payments. So our loan is going to be paid with $773.72 per month. 77372. Alright, so I copied that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste it here into monthly payment into our basic setup. I'll make the size a little bit bigger. There we go. And I'll center it like everybody else I have. Okay, so we have a $125,000 loan at 6.3% APR, and we're having monthly payments of $773.72. 77372. Oops, wrong place. So the first question, of course, is going to be answered with 773.72. And that's dollars per month to pay off this house over 30 years. Alright, so let me go back to the spreadsheet and play around with it a little bit, get it at least set up. So here we go. On payment 0, I already have it set up that we're going to have payments, we're going to have interest, we're going to have some leftover that's going to take away from our balance. On payment 0, you're just borrowing the money. Alright, so we're going to set this up as equals one more than the one above it. And our payment is going to always be, for now, that $773.72. I hope that was right. $773.72. Yep, that's right. Alright, so this is going to equal that cell. And for now, I'm just going to let it be that because I'll fix all the formulas in the next line. So this one's going to equal the interest, which is principal times rate times 1 over 12. Eventually, if you want, you can change that to just divide by 12. Alright, so on the first one, how do I want to do this? I'll select it later. It's too many few decimals, so let's see here, increase it. There we go. What's left over, of course, is how much you paid minus how much interest was paid. Now notice this number. On the first payment, you're only paying $100 of your mortgage, even though you almost paid $800 towards your mortgage. Most of your first payment goes to interest. It's kind of sad. About half of your loan will go towards interest mostly, and then the other half will start taking down the principal quickly. Alright, so what's left over is going to be your previous balance minus what was left over of your payment. So now you still owe $124,883 after first payment. Alright, so the second payment comes along. Your payment is going to be this number. I like referencing that one right above in case I want to change it later on. The interest that it's going to be earning is going to be principal times rate. And I'm fixing those still. And I'm just going to put divide by 12 here. Times time, which is 1 over 12. Yeah, I'm going to have to keep changing these. I'll fix it later. Alright, so what's left over is going to be this minus this. And this number should go up a little bit because we're not getting charged as much interest because we've actually reduced our balance a little bit. And then our balance for our loan is going to be the previous balance minus what was left over from our payment. Alright, so now I'm ready to drag this down. Now this loan is for 30 years, so I'm going to drag it down for at least 12 to make sure my formula is working okay. Yeah, what's left over is going up. That's a good thing. That means our balance must be going down. Okay. Oops, I don't have this cell fixed right. So this one is equal to the one before it, this one. All right, now I can drag. So I'll drag that all the way down. We'll go to about 300, 400. We'll go down to 400. A little further. It's 360. About there should be good. There, 360. We can delete anything below that. So notice that last payment, 360, is actually $4 over what it's supposed to be. Now, one thing I do want to fix with all my numbers, there's a command for this. Now that didn't do it. I want to get them all to be 2 decimal places, because someplace down here, and most of them are 2 decimal places. Let's go all the way down. It's too far. Oop, too far up. The far right column doesn't seem to be working right, so I'll get 2 decimals out of this. Let's just change it all to money. There we go. All right, so this last one, we actually overpaid $4.27. That's okay. You know, the bank will pay you back after all of those payments. All right, so now that we have it set up, we can actually start asking questions about this spreadsheet. So the first question I had was, after 10 years of payments, 120 payments, the Clorans have decided to refinance their mortgage with another bank that offers us lower percent. So we were going to go from 6.3 to 3.9 APR, and we're also going to reduce how many years we're going to be paying it. If we already made 10 years of payments, this one says we're only going to go 15 more years. So instead of a 30-year loan, now we're doing a 25-year loan. So the first question you have to ask is, how much do they still owe on their first loan? I mean, to refinance your house, you actually have to pay off your old loan. So we need to go to the 120th payment. So let's scroll down here. Ooh, too far. 120th payment. Now they made this one. So their balance after their 120th payment was this amount, $105,432.43. So I'll copy that and paste it in here. So this is how much money they still owe on their old loan after making their 120th payment. So that was pretty easy with a spreadsheet. Just go down to 120, go off to the balance. There's our answer. The other way of doing it is this long, horrible, ugly formula, and it's not as accurate as the spreadsheet is, even though it gets you an answer with one huge, ugly calculation. All right, so this is how much they owe on their loan still. Now, what their new monthly payments are going to be, we're going to have to go to that website, use this as the principal, and this as the interest rate, and 15 years of time, which is, I think, 180 months. All right, so let's see if we can get to our website, change a few numbers. Whoops. I think it's still in here. I might have to get rid of the commas. So I'm going to be safe, get rid of the commas and the $sign. All right, we're changing this to 3.9 interest rate, and I'm quite sure 15 times 30 is 180. I'm just going to be safe. Oop. Not 15 times 30, 15 times 12 is 180. Yeah, so we're doing 180 months. And hit calculate, and it tells us that monthly payments will be $774.60. Almost exactly the same. And the reason is the interest rate is lower. Even though we're cutting 5 years off the loan, the interest rate being lower actually does pretty good. So $774.60. Let me put that in here. So the new payments will be $774.60. So it went up a little bit, but not a lot per month. For the next 15 years, they will pay off their loan. All right. So the question then becomes, how much interest did they save by doing this? All right, so there's a couple different ways of doing this. Number one, we have to figure out how much interest they paid to begin with. And technically, there's two different ways of doing that. So let me do it with the calculator first. We could do it with a spreadsheet too. All right, so you start off with $773.72, the amount they were originally paying, and multiply that by 360. That's all the payments you would have made if we left the loan alone. All right, so multiply that out. It gives you 278. Write this in red. 278, 539, and 20 cents. Not that 20 cents really matters over 30 years, but hey. All right, so that's how much would have been paid normally if our monthly payments were $773.72. We borrowed $125,000, so if we subtract $125,000, that should be how much? Ooh, 0. How much we paid in interest, or would have paid in interest. All right, so subtract 125,000, 125,000. Oof. All right, this one in green. So we paid in interest. Let me get rid of that for a second. Interest. The amount of money that we had to pay to borrow the money to begin with is $153,539. I'm not even going to worry about the 20 cents. All right, so the amount of interest we would have paid is this much. All right. Now, when we get down to this part here, we first have to deal with the 120 payments. How much did we pay with those? And then when we switch it over to the last 180 payments with this new amount. All right, so let's do the 120. So it would be 120 times the original monthly payment of $773.72. So that gives us $92,846. That's how much money came out of their pockets for the first 10 years. And then we're going to add on to this the new payment of $774.60. We're going to multiply that by 180 payments. So that'll come out to be 139,428. Exactly, which is kind of cool. And then if we add those two together, plus 92,846, it comes up with 232274. So this is how much you paid for the mortgage after refinancing. And again, if you subtract the $125,000, that'll tell you how much interest you had here. So interest from original, that was the 153,000 up there, 539. We're going to subtract new interest, or after we refinance. Let's see here. So we paid $232,000 out of $125,000. So subtract $125,000, and that says that we only spent $107,274. So if we subtract this, this is our savings. By refinancing, this is how much money we save. So subtract 153, 539, for a grand total of $46,265. Not bad for just refinancing. Now it might cost like $5,000, $6,000 just to refinance, but it's worth it because in the long run you save $46,000. Plus, for 5 years you free up this much money a month. So you can put that into a savings account.